Let's move to this story. This is fascinating. Smoking kills. You know, the warnings that are on the side of a packet of cigarettes should be printed on every individual cigarette, and the legal age for buying tobacco products should be raised from 18 to 21 under new proposals from MPs. The measures have been submitted as part of an amendment to the Health and Care Bill currently going through Parliament. The updated warnings would also help the government achieve its goal of making England smoke-free by 2030. Would this stop you smoking? We'll get a word on this from the political commentator in a second, and the UK lead at Young Voices, Jason Reed. But first, the Labour MP, Mary Kelly Foy, who's behind this amendment, is with us. She's the Labour MP, of course, for Durham City. Mary, good afternoon to you. Have you got as far as, I don't mean this facetiously, genuine question, as sort of the font size of what it would look like? I mean, are we talking, on the ring around a cigarette, it often says Marlborough or Benson and Hedges or something. Would it be there, or would it be right across it in kind of, size 14 Comic Sans or something that really engages the smoker to the message?
I've got absolutely no idea what the size is. That's not within my gift to do.
Let's get a word on this from Jason Reed, political commentator and UK lead at Young Voices. Jason, good afternoon to you. It's got a big picture on the side. It says smoking kills. It'll rot your lungs. It'll do your leg will fall off, all sorts of things. But apparently that imagery is not good enough. It needs to be now printed, embossed almost, on the side of a cigarette. What are you making of this?
I think you were on the money, Ian, with your intro. It's just, it's the nanny state gone mad. It's just patronising and infantilizing. Everyone knows that smoking is unhealthy. No one is under the illusion that it's good for them. Even if they were, those big messages emblazoned on the side of the packaging, along with those awful pictures of diseased organs and things like that, would set them straight very quickly. And so it just stokes, I think, disdain for the government when you have these kinds of nanny state policies, which just finger wagging and sanctimonious to tell people your lifestyle is wrong and we're not happy with it. If what you actually want to do is to help people quit smoking who want to quit smoking, and we can all agree that that's a worthwhile aim, there are much more worthwhile things you can do, like promoting reduced risk products. Vaping, for example, is the best tool that we've ever discovered for helping people quit smoking and is about 95% healthier, according to Public Health England. Why are we not putting our time and our effort and our resources into helping educating smokers about the benefits of switching to vaping instead of doing silly things like writing in very small writing on the side of a cigarette?
Yeah, it does seem
dangerous.
I mean, I kind of thought it was a bit of a kind of a sort of private eye gag or something when I first saw it. It just didn't seem that, which is why I asked her, and I was being quite serious, what sort of font would it be and how big would it be? Because, the last time I looked, when you smoke a cigarette, as you smoke it, it disappears. There's less of it than there was to begin with. It's smoked, and that would naturally sort of smoke the message away in the process.
Yeah, it would. It might even, if we're worried about young people and teenagers taking up cigarettes, it might even make things worse, because it might, if it says something like, if it says smoking on the side of your cigarette, that might be seen as cool by some people, or if it says kills after you've smoked half of it, that might actually make it worse. But of course, this hasn't been properly thought through. That's pretty clear to see. This is about, I think it's virtue signaling. I think it's being seen to take action rather than actually doing things that will help people.
Listen, Mary is still with us, so we can get a response to what you've said, Jason. Mary, I'm glad you hung on there and didn't leg it for the hills, as most politicians seem to do. Do you want to respond to what Jason just said?
I certainly do. I'm presuming Jason hasn't looked at the full package of recommendations from the report. Of course, it wouldn't be just one thing as putting a warning on the side of a cigarette. There's a whole load of amendments going through from the all-party group, and it's recommendations around the polluter pay approach, where we'll get the tobacco industry to actually have to pay for the education and all the rest of those measures that would go. The stop smoking services. It's not about one recommendation. I can't believe you would think that's what we would be doing. And what exactly have you got against? What on earth have you got against trying to stop people smoking, children taking up smoking, when it is the biggest killer? It's the biggest cause of health inequalities and life expectancy. And we're not stopping anybody from smoking. It's just putting a message out there to remind people. Not everybody knows that there's 16 types of cancer caused by smoking. Not everybody knows that they might be the one of the 2 people that will die from it. So what on earth is the problem about helping helping people
Jason,
quit smoking?
there's a lot in that. Jason, respond if you. We are slightly brief on time, Jason, but fire away.
And to take the example of vaping again, electronic cigarettes are about 200 times less likely to give you cancer. But if you look at the polling numbers among smokers, especially those who want to quit, many smokers have no idea how healthy vaping is in comparison. And yet we're here talking about writing smoking kills on the side of a cigarette. It's just a distraction. It won't help anyone. It distracts from the real policies that really will help people quit who want to quit, and that will cost lives.
Jason, thank you. Labour MP Mary Kelly Foy, thank you too. We could have debated that for a lot longer. There's more in that than you first realised.